Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Bekenkamp. I'm Managing Director of CM2000 the Netherlands, and I would like to take you on a virtual tour through the landscape of information. When I was a little boy, we had a small car back home, a VW Beetle, and the thing I remember from that time was that my father was able to bring us at any destination at all, just with some simple gauges with information. He used his speedometer and his mileage. Next to that, he knew how much fuel we had. All that together never was a problem to bring us anywhere we wanted to be. Last week, I drove with my own car on the motorway, and at the same time, I realized that I had much more sources of information, which did bring me a lot of extra information. There is a sat-nav, and there is multimedia, there is telephone. And just at that moment, the phone rang. And I saw the telephone number by CLI 3 times on my dashboard. And that while I was sober. So I thought, if this is happening, if I see all this information, what does it do with my brain? What does it do with my mind? What does it bring? Because when I'm honest, most of all I use the speedometer. I just want to know how fast I'm driving to make sure there are no penalties. So it brought me to think about information, and I was aware of the fact that not only in the car there is much more information available, but also above the motorway you see matrix signs and signposts along the motorway. Altogether, it's much more information. Also because the traffic has increased, much more cars available today and much more traffic because of that. The other thing which we saw increase was the speed on the motorway. So it brought us actually much more influence of information, which you all have to take into your mind, process it, and act on behalf of that. So it brings you somewhere. That thought made me aware of the fact that there were cars going faster than my car, and there were also people who drove slower. And I was aware of the fact that it might be possible that everybody has its own, let's say, information processing speed. And that brought me to the, possibility that next to an intellectual quotient, there is also an information quotient. And if there is an information quotient, you could define that as the amount of information you can process within a certain time lap. If that's the fact, and everybody is different, you could say, when you translate that information processing being different for everybody could mean that some people get stressed or have a burnout because of the fact that they have too much information in a certain time lap. So I thought, well, if that would mean that people take sick leave because of too much information, we probably should change the way, the amount, and the speed you are delivering the information to a certain person. It is a nice thought. In theory, it could work. It's not illogical, is it? So from that point, the next step came, and I thought, well, when there is a driver in a car, you could say a manager of a company or a member of the board or director, like myself, they all are actually steering an organization. And if you think about the options you have nowadays with all sorts of software, you can actually get any information, but is it all necessary? Like in my modern car, is it all necessary? Or do we think it is necessary because people have taught us to think that? No, I thought, actually, like the driver in the car, it might be interesting to know, what do I really need to manage, control my organization? And that's actually where CM2000, the Netherlands, comes in. That's where we want to talk about with you. Because at the end, we want to make sure that you have the dashboard again from the VW Beetle, or for that matter, an Aston Martin or a Morris, whatever you like. But being able to make the difference between a lot of information and the information you really need is a task we would like to take. It's an adventure for us, an opportunity. If you look at an organization like a triangle, and you would say that accurate information is actually the thing we are talking about, because what do you want to know at the end, like management information on the top? You want to have it accurate, you want to have it on the right time, and you want to have the information you really need, the relevant information, and not all the other things. Last week I flew from Trieste to Rome, and I spoke to a director of an investment company in Rome. And the nice thing was that this person actually recognized what I'm telling you at the moment. He recognized what I said about the amount of information and bringing it back to actually just that narrow information, that small piece of information which he really likes to have. And there is a difference, he said, between daily information, monthly, quarterly, annual, whatever. And we agreed on that. So the nice thing for me was that there was this confirmation above the Adriatic Sea by just a person I met in a plane, never saw before, and he recognized what I said. So I was very happy with that. We came on Rome and we said bye-bye, and we went all our own way. Of course, I gave him my business card. So from that point, if you go back to being in charge of an organization, you want to have accurate information. And if you go back to this triangle and you go to timesheets, which are processed manually, so filled out manually and processed after that manually, the possibility is there that half an hour will be 28 minutes or 33 minutes, whatever. But it can be less accurate. CM2000 has proven in the UK that with more than 200 million registrations since the beginning of this millennium, that there are savings possible between 5 and 15% in the cost of wages of your organization. And that's where I would like to talk about with you. Because these savings, as well as making your information more accurate, make the possibility there that you will make, in an economic difficult situation, nowadays, more profit. Thank you very much.